In this video, we'll be making the Learning Cross Stitch with DMC kit, which is suitable for complete beginners. The kit includes Aida fabric, a tapestry needle, embroidery thread and an embroidery hoop. I'll also be using a pair of embroidery scissors. Fold the fabric in 4 and crease to find the centre. Put the fabric in an embroidery hoop. Using a hoop will keep the fabric taut and make it easier to stitch. Undo the screw and separate the rings. Place your fabric over the smaller ring and pop the outside ring over the top. Tighten the screw and tension the fabric all the way around. We're using stranded embroidery thread, which has 6 strands. We'll use 2 strands. To separate the strands, take your thread and tap the end. Then pinch one strand and pull straight up. Separate the strands individually and then recombine them. On a cross-stitch chart, every square represents a square on the fabric. Each symbol represents a stitch of a specific colour. Make a stitch in each square that has a symbol. It also tells me how many strands to use. For this design, we'll use 2 strands throughout. The arrows show the centre of the design. Starting in the centre of the design reduces big counting mistakes. We'll work the bottom half of this design first, starting at the centre. We'll start with these 2 stitches. The symbol shows me that these should be red stitches. Avoid using knots at the back of your work. They can create lumps that get in the way when you do more complicated cross-stitch designs. Use the crease in the fabric to find the centre and know where to start. You're going to leave a tail at the back of your work and hold it so it becomes trapped under the stitches as you make them. You make a cross-stitch in 2 halves. Make a diagonal stitch from the bottom right to the top left. Do the first half of all the stitches in the row. Now we're going to close those stitches by working in the opposite direction, going from the bottom left to the top right. Crossing the first half of the stitch. Make sure all the stitches are crossed or closed in the same direction throughout the piece. If you turn your work over, you will see that you've trapped the tail of thread under your stitches, so the thread is secure. To change colour or start a new thread, pass the needle under a few stitches at the back. Next, we're going to work all the yellow stitches in the central section of the bottom half of the design. The chart shows that the first yellow stitch is 9 squares away from the red stitches I've worked in the centre. Using my needle, I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and come up here. When I get to the end of the row, I come back in the opposite direction, closing each stitch. Stitch the rest of the yellow stitches in this section. Now you've completed the yellow stitches, you're going to work the bottom half of the blue inner ring. Keep checking the chart as you go. Count from the stitches you've already worked. It can help to put a ruler or a bookmark on the row you're working, or cross out the stitches as you go. Once the bottom half of the blue ring is complete, I'm going to change thread and work the inner green ring. Using the same process, I'm continuing to work the design from the centre of the pattern outwards. Now I've completed the green ring, I'm going to start working the bottom half of the second blue ring. Each time I start a new section, I'm checking the chart and counting from stitches I've already completed. Now I've completed all the blue stitches in the outer ring, I'm going to work these yellow and green lines. I've checked the chart and I'm going to be starting 6 squares over from this blue stitch. Now I've worked these 3 yellow stitches, I want to avoid long threads at the back of the work, so I'll fasten off my thread here and restart here. Following the chart, I'm going to do the rest of these green and yellow lines. Now you've completed the yellow and green lines, you've only got the red outer ring to complete, and you will finish the bottom half.